Okay, perfect. So we are recording. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to, like I said, it's a really great number of us today, so we can have discussions. So feel free to unmute yourself, ask questions. If I'm moving too fast, anything like that, please just let me know. I do want to drop just in the chat so that you all have it. I have put together my April class training calendar as well. So I'm just going to drop that. Let me just pull this file up. Give me just 1 second. All of the Zoom links will remain the same. So whatever the Zoom link is for this session will always be the session for Thursdays moving forward. And then same thing on Wednesday. So I've got my Wednesday classes in there as well for you guys if you want that. So give me just 1 second just to find this. There we go. So I'm going to drop that in chat as a PDF. Your Market Center leadership will have it for you as well. But this just has all the dates for everything and then also what the training will be on. So today on Thursdays is when we always do command for teams. So we'll have some different things there. And then Wednesdays is when we do a command workshop for either a solo agent. You can obviously come if you run a team or are on a team as well, where we kind of divide up those applets. And 2 Wednesdays in April, we'll be doing DocuSign training. So if you need maybe a refresher on that or any help with that, we'll have 2 sessions on that. So any questions on any of that just before we dive into the topic today? Good. Okay. And again, you guys, please stop me if I'm moving too fast, questions, anything like that. So today we're going to talk about smart plans. So today we're going to talk about smart plans for teams, and then we'll have some time so we can definitely open it up for any kind of team Q&A mastermind for that. So give me 1 second while I just share my screen. All right, so I'm just going to share this. Perfect. And if you guys can give me just like a quick confirmation or a thumbs up, is everybody able to see my command screen here? Awesome. Thanks, Aisha. So I am going to just turn my little halo on so I can see you guys. And then I've got chat open on my other monitor. So like I said, feel free to unmute or speak up. But if you also want to type questions or anything in the chat, I'm monitoring that at the same time. So I want to talk about smart plans first. So who in here, and again, you can drop it in chat or you can just unmute yourself and say yes. Who in here has ever used a smart plan or added a contact to a smart plan? Has anyone done that? Some of you. Okay, awesome. Okay, great. So let's talk about what a smart plan is, first of all, and why we would want to use them. And a lot of you have, so that's awesome. So a smart plan is essentially a really nice hybrid of task reminders, reminding you to make phone calls. It might be automatic emails that go out, and there's different smart plans that you can use for different people in your database. So it's essentially your follow-up. So we know, right, that probably 80% of all buyers and sellers say that they would use their real estate agent again, yet only about 20% of them actually do, because there's that time in between where sometimes we're just forgetting to follow up, or we're moving on to the next listing, or we're working with these buyers, or it's a market like we're in today, and we're just trying to keep our head above water. So smart plans allow you to have that leverage, to have that automatic follow-up, so that when someone thinks of real estate, you're the person that automatically comes to their mind. So I want to ask in the chat, if you guys were going to go and you were going to drink some sort of soda and it had to be brown, what would you say it would be? So what do you think is the #1 selling brown colored soda? So if we want to call it that way. So I'll have you put it in the chat. Yeah, so Coke. Okay. So generally saying we think it's Coca-Cola, right? Now let's say that we go somewhere and we want to order a Coke and they don't have it. What's the second option? I'll have you put that in the chat. So they don't have Coke. What's the second option? What's maybe the second selling soda? Okay, yeah, Pepsi across the board, right? And then let's say that we don't want either of those. We don't want a flavored soda. We just want like a brown soda. What's the third option? Yeah, Dr. Pepper, which is a little bit flavored, but Dr. Pepper. Root beer, yeah, that's a good one. But do you see that, like, the first two that popped to mind were Coke and then Pepsi? Why do you think that is? Yeah, it's their marketing, right? It's mind share. I love that. Yeah. So it's mind share, it's their marketing. I'm sure there's a bunch of other ones out there. It's just that we're so inundated by the marketing and the ads and the mind share and the branding that those are, the first two that really come to mind. And then we're like, I don't really know any more past that. I'd have to kind of really think about it. So we want you to make sure that you're always the mind share and top of mind. And when people think of real estate, they think of you. And smart plans can really allow you to do that. So what we're going to talk about today are smart plans that you can use in a team environment and some best practices of moving smart plans into a team environment. So remember, if we can kind of backtrack just a little bit, you essentially have maybe two command accounts, right? So we have your personal command account, which is just you as a solo agent. Maybe you had that prior to being on a team or being a rainmaker of a team. And then we have the team command account, which is what we're going to talk about today. So let's talk about what smart plans you have automatically in your team account and how to get into those. So when we first log into command, which remember, we just get to command by going to agent.kw.com, and then it's going to log us into our command account. When you first log in, we want to make sure up here at the top right that we're always working out of the team account, if that's the main account that we're wanting to work out of, which if you're on a team, you should be. So we just want to make sure that when we click on that we have our team account that's picked. Now, remember, you can go into settings at any time and you can make your team account your default account. So then you don't really have to go through and toggle and make sure that you're truly picking the right account. So once we picked our team account, we're going to come down here and we're going to go to settings to make sure that we've picked that as the default account if we want to make sure we're doing that. So again, we just clicked on the name, then we're going to click right into settings. So if you're not automatically logging into your team account, we just want to click on general settings right up here at the top. And then we can click on default account and we can make sure that our team account is picked as the default account. So if you are on a team, if you are a rainmaker for a team, I highly recommend that you set this as your default account so that we're not accidentally adding contacts into a personal account or creating smart plans under a personal account and then having to move those over to the team account. So the first thing that we want to do is make sure we're adding that as the default, or we're selecting that as the default account. Now, once we've done that, we're going to take a look at what smart plans you have in your team account. So remember, we can click on the red box up here at the top left at any time to kind of open up that window. And we're going to go down to smart plans, which is the fourth little applet down here. It looks like a little to-do list with like a little gear shift right there. And we're going to click on smart plans. So smart plans is an applet that has been teamified, meaning you have full team functionality when you are looking at this. All right, so perfect. So when we come in here, and we're looking at our smart plans, you'll see that once that loads, give me 1 second. Perfect. If you have any team smart plans that you have added to your library, you have created, you will have those smart plans listed right here. If you've never added any to your library or you've never created any team smart plans, this will be blank, but that's fine. We're going to take the time to go through how to add smart plans here. So the first thing that I recommend is that you take a look at the library. So we're going to click right up here on the tab and we're going to go into library. Now, remember, the library has kind of like different subsets of smart plans that you can look at. So the smart plans up here are created by Keller Williams. Now, if you've been to some of my workshops, you know we talk a lot about building your business through command using the MRE models. So in the lead gen model, one of the things that we know is that you should consistently be marketing to your database 36 times a year, also known as a 36 touch. And by doing that, what we can generally expect is from every 10 contacts in your database, you should be receiving 2 transactions, one directly from those 10 people, meaning they have a real estate need, one indirectly, meaning they know someone that has a real estate need. But we need to make sure that we're communicating with them 36 times over the course of 12 months. Smart plans can be your leverage to do that. So the smart plans that I recommend you set every single person up on your database are the quarterly call smart plan, and either the monthly neighborhood nurture or the bi-weekly neighborhood nurture. So again, it's the quarterly call smart plan and the monthly neighborhood nurture or the bi-weekly neighborhood nurture. So let's break down what those smart plans do. The quarterly call smart plan is as straightforward as it sounds. It's going to remind you every 90 days to call every single person in your database. So it's just telling you to call everybody that you know once a quarter, which we know from the 36 touch is really the activity or the actions that cements that relationship. It's not the emails, it's not the text, it's not the Facebook posts, it's the phone calls of checking in and just saying, how are you? How are you doing? Is there anything I could do to help you? How's the family? What are your vacation plans? It's the human interaction. So quarterly call plan reminds you to call them every 90 days. The other two that I recommend are either the bi-weekly neighborhood nurture or the monthly neighborhood nurture. The monthly neighborhood nurture is as straightforward as it sounds. Once a month, it sends them a really nice kind of email from you of here's what's happening in the neighborhoods that you've picked. It's essentially a home search for neighborhoods with some really nice statistics. That one goes out every 30 days. The bi-weekly neighborhood nurture goes out twice a month. Same data, same content, 15 days of content versus 30 days of content, meaning it's going to show what's new on the market in the last 15 days, statistics for 15 days versus the monthly, it's going to show every 30 days. So if you were to run just the quarterly call smart plan and the bi-weekly neighborhood nurture, so if we're doing it bi-weekly, that's 24 emails a year, along with the 4 phone calls, that's 28 touches right there. And then if we're just leaving time for maybe a holiday card, a birthday sort of conversation or a birthday card, general things to how you reach out to them, you're probably hitting a 36 touch. Now we could do a monthly neighborhood nurture and the quarterly call smart plan, which is 12 touches for the monthly along with the 4 touches. So that would take you to 16. Then you'd have 20 other touches you could kind of touch in there where I know people say like, it's, you know, don't forget to change your smoke alarm batteries, or don't forget to set the clock back, or different things like that. So we could have all of that. So you can have that nice blend, yet we want to make sure quarterly call smart plan and either monthly or bi-weekly, just depending on what you'd like to do. We need to make sure we're setting everybody up on those. So how do we do that? The first thing is we're going to come in here and we're going to make sure that we have those smart plans in our library. So when we come here and we're looking at smart plans, we've got the smart plans that were created for you by Keller Williams right up here. We've got the bi-weekly neighborhood nurture. And it says right here, this is a bi-weekly email that helps you reach out to clients, leads, or recruits to show real-time market data specific to their neighborhoods. Over here, we've got the quarterly call plan. It tells you directly what that is right there. And then we can click on any of these dots down here to see other options. So we've got the monthly neighborhood nurture, open house follow-up, so you can go through and take a look at those. So let's say that for our database, we wanted to do the monthly neighborhood nurture and the quarterly call smart plan. We know we want to start with those. The only thing that I have to do to add that smart plan to my library is just pick the smart plan that I want to use. And then all I'm going to do is click on the box right down here at the bottom that just says add smart plan. And then it's going to ask me, what do I want to call this plan? So it's my monthly neighborhood nurture. If I wanted to change this to 30-day monthly newsletter or whatever it is, I could change that here, but I'm just going to keep it the name that they've given it. And then I'm just going to choose download. And it's essentially downloading this from the library here into my library. It's almost making a copy of it. Now, the other one that I want to make sure that I add is the quarterly call plan. So again, I'm just going to find that smart plan right over here. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to choose add smart plan. Then I'm going to choose download. It's going to ask me again, what do I want to call this smart plan? I'm just going to stick with what they told me and then download that smart plan. So now you'll see that I'm in the library section of smart plans. If I now go into team plans, which is right next to it, which is where all of my team smart plans are, you'll see that the ones I have right here are the my quarterly call plan and the my monthly neighborhood. So are there any questions from anyone on just adding a smart plan from the library into your smart plans to be able to use? Pretty self-explanatory, right? Okay, so let's go back to the library because I do just want to show you a couple things here. We've got the Keller Williams Smart Plans at the top of the page. In the middle of the page, you're going to have top rated smart plans. So these might be smart plans that were created by agents that they're saying, hey, if you want to use these at any time, you're welcome to do that. We can come in here, we can download these as well. And then underneath here, you'll have any new smart plans here as well. So that's how we would add smart plans. Now I want to talk, because we're talking about teams. There's a chance that a lot of you are on teams or run a team, and you have a smart plan that you have created in your personal library, and you now want to take that smart plan and you want to add that to your team library, and you want to be able to run it through the team. So let me back up a little bit to kind of reintroduce that. You might have created a smart plan yourself, a custom smart plan in your personal team command account that you were using. And now you're using the team command account and you want to be able to use that same smart plan over here, but it doesn't show up in your library. There's just one step that we have to do, and we just have to do it once, and it's super easy. To do this, we're going to go into our personal command account, because remember, if we created the smart plan in our personal command account, we need to go into there first. So for this time, I'm going to click up here under settings, and I'm going to go into my personal command account, and I'm going to take a look at my personal smart plans that I've created. So I'm just going to click on that, and then I'm going to go just back home. I just kind of trick the system just a little bit to make sure that we're in the right one. And again, you only have to do this once, and then you'll be able to use it at any time. So we went into our personal command account, and now we're going to go into our personal smart plans. So maybe you created a post open house smart plan, or a post closing smart plan, or anything that you want to use in your team command account. So again, I'm in my personal command right now, and these are all of the people plans that I've created under my personal account. So maybe I have a Facebook lead follow-up, whatever sort of custom smart plan you've created that we want to move to the team library. All that we have to do is pick which smart plan we want to move to the team library, and we're going to publish it. So let's say that it was, let me find one that's not real. So maybe it was this one, the unsubscribe test, right? I'm going to pick the smart plan that I want to move to the team account. I'm going to come all the way over to the right, and I'm going to click on the 3 dots right here. Oh, I don't have anything on it. Hang on. Let me pick one that I can actually do. Okay, I'm going to pick on the 3 dots, click on the 3 dots, and I'm going to choose the option that says publish to library. And then I can rename this at any time if I would like to when I'm publishing it to the library. And then it will spin for just a moment. I'll get a confirmation where I can go in and make sure this is the one. So I'm essentially taking this, publishing it to the library, and then I'm going to drop it into my team account. We'll walk through that. So it's telling me this is the one that you want to publish to the library. If I wanted to rename the name up here of the smart plan at any time, I could do that, or make any changes to it, I can do that here. But once I say, yep, this is the one that I want to move to my team account, I'm just going to choose publish. I'm just going to click on that publish button right here. So then I'll show you the one that I published to the library prior to this class, just to save a little bit of time. If I go to my published, it's this one, Sydney published to Smart Plan Library test. So this is the custom smart plan I created under my personal account. I want to push it and publish it to the library because then I want to pull it into my team account. So all we have to do is take the smart plan, publish it to the library for just a couple minutes. Then we're going to go back into our team command account. And again, you just have to do this once, then they're all going to be there in your team account. So we're going to go back into our team command account. We're going to go into the library, and then we're going to search up here, and you can search by name or by whoever created it. I know that it was me that created it. So I'm going to search, and then this one right here says Sydney published to Smart Plan Library. That's the one that I want. I'm just going to choose Add Smart Plan, Download. And now that smart plan that I created in the personal account has now been moved over to the team account. So if I go into my team plans, you'll see it's right there. Sydney published to library is right there. Now, if you published it to the library and now you've moved it into your team account and you're saying, I no longer want it to be available in the library, I don't want any agent to go into the library and pick it, that's completely fine. That's your personal preference. To unpublish it once you've downloaded it, we would do the same thing. We would go into our personal account. Then we would go into our smart plans that we have published. We would come right over here. We can delete it. We can edit the smart plan. But essentially deleting it here is removing it and you're unpublishing it from the library there. So if we come in here, choose the edit button. We can make any changes here and then unpublish for that. So again, you're just having to do a one-time kind of push to the library, pull it in, and then we can get rid of it. Now that's only for custom smart plans that you have created. So if you have smart plans that you've just used that are Keller Williams smart plans, we're just moving those in, which a lot of times we see that those are probably the ones that you've used the most for that.
Cindy, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Hey, I wanted to find out how can we go in and look at what the smart plan that we've created or that we've downloaded? Is there a way to review or see what that smart plan says?
Yeah, absolutely. So do you mean, Tammy, just so I can understand it a little bit better, maybe we went in and we searched for a smart plan that another agent had created. We downloaded the smart plan, and before we send it out, we just want to review all of the steps. Am I understanding that?
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
I want to make
Perfect.
sure exactly what it says. Perfect.
Yeah, which is great practice, Tammy, because we hope that when an agent is creating a custom smart plan, if they're going to publish it to the library, they're making it very generic. But if you want it to be branded to you, we just want to look at it before we're going out. So that's a great question. So I recommend once you pull any smart plans in from the library, we just come over here. And again, I'm just looking at all of my plans right here. And maybe let me pick one that actually has stuff on it. I think this one has it. Okay. And so if I come over here to the edit button, which just looks like a little pencil, I'm just going to click on that. So remember, any smart plan that you download from the library, you have the ability to come in and completely customize. So if you downloaded Steve's smart plan and Steve started his smart plan with an email, but you want your smart plan to start with a phone call, we can change that here. So just by clicking.
I'm sorry, what if it will not let you click on it? Doesn't allow the edit button to highlight?
Yeah, so that generally we see that happen when it's a Keller Williams smart plan that they've created, which is essentially locked. So you can't really make any changes to it there. So that would be like a monthly neighborhood nurture or a quarterly call smart plan that you can't go in and edit because the system is just going to basically do everything for you.
So can I feel safe that it has my personal contact information on there?
Yeah, so the smart plans pull from your marketing profile. So as long as your marketing profile under settings is set up properly, then all the contact information will be there. But if you also would like to do it, what I recommend is if you really want to see it is just add yourself as a contact and then add yourself to the smart plan that you want to send out and send it out to yourself. So that way you can see it that way first.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Does that answer your question?
It does.
Okay.
Yes, very much.
All right, give me 1 second, you guys, while I just go back into smart plans. So far we've talked about how to add Keller Williams smart plans from the library to our team library. We talked about how to go in and to pull personal smart plans and add them to the team library. So we're essentially publishing them first, and then we're adding them to the team library. What I now want to talk about are the settings for these smart plans that we just, for a team, we want to make sure that we're taking a look at first before we're sending any smart plans out, because you just have some additional functionality that you don't have in the personal account. So again, we're in the smart plan section. Sorry, is there a question? Okay, Okay, we're in the Smart Plans library, and when we're in the Team Smart Plans library, not the personal, you'll see that at the top right, you'll have what looks like a little bit of a gear shift. So if we click on the gear shift,
The mastermind flyer.
it gives me the options of what I want to do as far as my Team Smart Plans. So I'm just going to click right on that. And then this is where I just have to decide what I'm wanting to do for this. So remember when we talked about settings with the team, maybe 2 weeks ago, and then we talked about personal contacts versus team contacts and the differences of those. We talked about designated agents or assigned agents. So remember that in Team Command, we're going to have all of the contacts that probably will be owned by the team. But then you might say that this contact is assigned to my buyer's agent because this is a buyer lead. Or this contact is assigned to the listing specialist because this is a potential listing and I want them to be the one to have the communication. So what you can decide here is who is the designated agent for the steps of the Smart Plan. So for example, the 3 things that we're looking at are really tasks, emails, and messages. Now you'll see down here, it says for your team, the default rainmaker is myself. If you are a dual rainmaker team, you can decide who is the default rainmaker. So sometimes we see this where we have like husband and wife or partners that might be dual rainmaker, but we know that this person is the one that truly manages the business. This person really isn't active. They're just dual rainmakers. So we want to make sure which of these default rainmakers do we want to say is truly the default rainmaker for the Smart Plans. Then we want to decide up here, if we have a task in a Smart Plan. So let's think about the quarterly call Smart Plan. All the quarterly call Smart Plan is 4 different tasks over the course of 12 months. So it's just 4 times of it reminding you, hey, you need to call these people. Well, who do we want that task to be assigned to? So if you're saying, okay, these contacts are assigned to my buyer's agent, who do I want the task to go to call those people? Just be aware, if you're saying this is going to come to the rainmaker, then if they have 20,000 people in their database, they're going to get reminded to call 20,000 people over the course of the year. So that's where, like, I do recommend it. Let's really look at the tasks. And as a rainmaker, do you truly need to be the one that is calling these agents for this? If you're the contact assignee as the rainmaker, then that's fine. Meaning, like, these are my sphere contacts. I want to make sure I, as a rainmaker, am always managing these. You'll get that as the contact assignee. But just with tasks, I do recommend it's the contact assignee for that instead of the rainmaker. Now, the email, completely up to you. And again, this is where every team is different. So some rainmakers might say, nope, this contact is assigned to you. I don't want anything. Like, you don't come to me until 911 emergency, you need help with something. Some rainmakers might say, I want all communication that's emails to look as if it's coming from the team. So I want it to really come from the rainmaker. Or you can say, I want it to come from the contact assignee. Same thing with text messages. Do you want that to come from the rainmaker? Now remember, if it's coming from the contact assignee, they have to have a Twilio account for this to run. So not only the rainmaker, but the personal, the buyer's agent, the listing specialist, they would have to have that as well. Otherwise, the rainmaker, the text would come from them for that. So you can determine based off of each step how you would like for all of these to come from the designated agents. And then we're just going to choose save changes right there. So any questions on anything we've covered so far as adding Smart Plans to your library, creating or publishing Smart Plans from your personal library into the team, and then coming in and just making sure that we're setting up the designated agents? Just checking chat. Okay, perfect. All right, I am going to go into contacts because I just want to show you what I believe is the easiest way for you to add contacts to Smart Plans. So we can add contacts to Smart Plans a bunch of different ways. I'm just going to walk through what I think is the easiest. I like to do everything through the contacts. I just think makes sense. I like to look at my contacts. I like to see what's going on. So you've got a couple different ways of adding contacts to smart plans. So let's say that I'm a buyer's agent. I've got contacts that are assigned to me. I'm going through, I'm looking at my contacts. Maybe I'm making phone calls. I'm just looking at who's due for a phone call, looking at the engagement with them. And so let's say that I'm having a conversation with this contact up here that has the great name of App Test. So I'm having a conversation with them. We're speaking about maybe an open house where I met them, whatever it might be. And I want to add them to a smart plan. I think, oh, I don't know if they're on a smart plan. I need to make sure they're on the quarterly call smart plan or maybe an additional smart plan. When I'm looking at the contact card, over here on the right is everything that I can do with this contact. And you'll see over here on the right, the third option is smart plans. And then it tells me right here, it looks like this contact doesn't have any smart plans yet. So if I want to add them to a smart plan, I'm going to click right on add to smart plan. And then you'll see my options come up of what smart plan do I want to add them to. So I'm going to say, oh my gosh, they're not on any smart plans. I need to make sure that I'm communicating with them. So I'm going to add them to the My Quarterly Call Smart Plan. And then it's going to ask me, do I want to start the smart plan now, or do I want to start it on the following date? I'm going to say for this one, we'll start it now. We're going to say confirm. It just gives me a quick confirmation that this is the contact. I'm adding them to the My Quarterly Call Plan, which is a phone call, wait 90 days, and it just repeats unlimited time. So once a quarter, it's telling you to call these people. We're going to hit confirm. Oh, do I not have a phone number? Hang on. Let me see if I have a phone number. See, don't have a phone number. Let me just get a fake phone number here. 1 second, you guys, bear with me. Can't call them without a phone number, right? Let's see if it lets me do that one. Not a valid number. Perfect. So now we've got a phone number in there. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to add them to the smart plan. We're going to say add to smart plan. We're going to choose quarterly call smart plan, confirming that we're going to start it on this date again. We're going to choose confirm, confirm one more time. We've got a phone number, so we're good. So now I see under the smart plans that anytime I'm not even in that smart plan section, I have a 1 right next to it. That's letting me know that this contact is on one smart plan at this time. Under the timeline, it shows me this smart plan is subscribed. They subscribe to my quarterly call smart plan. I can click on smart plans at any time, take a look at it and see the date that they were added to the smart plan, the date that that last smart plan was executed. If I don't want them to be on this smart plan, I can unsubscribe them at this time. So if I say I don't want them on the quarterly call, I can just hit the trash can right there. Now I want to add them to another smart plan. So remember with the monthly neighborhood nurture, we have to have an address attached to them. Oh, hang on. Sorry, guys. I hit something wrong. We have to have an address attached for them for the monthly neighborhood or the bi-weekly neighborhood nurture. We have to have a home address so that it picks a neighborhood. So we just want to make sure that, oh, I'm in my personal. That's why. Hang on. We just want to make sure that we've gone in and we've added the home address or the neighborhood, whatever it is, to them for that monthly neighborhood nurture. So I'm actually going to just add a home address here, just a fake one here. I have too many fake contacts. Sometimes it thinks I'm trying to duplicate. Sue is shaking her head. She probably has a lot of an Aisha test contacts. They think that contacts already exist, right? All these different things. Let's see. That'll let me, if I have this one already, I hope not. Okay, so I picked a fake area, but we're going to add this home address right there, and then it'll pull a neighborhood based off of that. Now I can come in here to the smart plans. And if I wanted to add them to another smart plan, I can do the same thing. I would just click add to smart plan, and then I can pick whatever smart plan. Now you'll see I can't pick this one because they're already subscribed to that. So that's nice that it lets me. Once you start to have a ton of smart plans, we can come up here and we can just search for any smart plan at any time that we want to add them to if we need to start to search for that. Let me see what I have here that might actually have touches on this. Okay, so here's a trick that I love. If we're doing the monthly neighborhood nurture or the bi-weekly neighborhood nurture, I like you guys to be the rock star in the middle of the transaction at any time. So I'm going to use Sue as an example. And Sue, you don't have to do anything, but just nod your head yes. So, so Sue and I are talking. We're great friends. We've been friends for forever. And I say to her, hey, Sue, you know, I've got some really cool stuff in my new platform with my company. And it actually allows me to create a really nice little neighborhood newsletter. And it shows specifically in your neighborhood what homes are going on the market for, just some details and stuff like that. Now, Sue, I know you have no thought of buying or selling, but I do know that your home is your largest investment. So is it cool with you if I add you to that just so you can see what's happening in your neighborhood? And Sue's going to say, yes, of course, that's fine, right? So I got that permission. But then here's the trick, you guys. I'm going to say, okay, Sue, it's going to take me a little bit of time to put this together because it's just me pulling a lot of data. So I think you can probably expect to receive this email, Sue, maybe Friday or Saturday of this week. Is that cool? She's going to say yes again. So don't come in here and start it immediately. Go in and start it tomorrow, because Sue thinks then that I spent 8 hours all night going in and creating this newsletter that was so specific to her. Don't show the magic behind the curtain. So let them think that you're doing a little bit more than just, oh yeah, Sue, I just click a button and it goes to you. I don't even know what it says, right? We want to like kind of make them think. And so then when they receive it, they're like, oh my gosh, Sydney said she was going to send this to me. She did send it to me, and it's the specific data that I wanted. So just know that we can start it on a following date, or we can start it now. Same thing. We're just going to confirm down here, and then you'll see that they're added to that smart plan. So that is how we can add a smart plan to a contact directly within a contact record. I do want to go back to contacts, and I want to show you how you can add multiple contacts to the same smart plan at the same time, because this is something that you might do as you're getting multiple contacts and adding them to smart plans. So again, we're looking at all the contacts here. We're going to come in, and maybe I want to add every single contact that I have to the quarterly call smart plan. So maybe I realize that I don't have everybody set up on that, and I want to. If I want to pick all, first of all, this is a demo account, so I only have 8 contacts, but I can click on here at any time and show up to 500 contacts. So if I wanted to pick 500 at a time, I could do that. I'm going to say I want to pick just all of these on this page. And you'll see that I've got this check mark up here in the gray banner. If I click on that, it picks every single contact. If I didn't want every single contact, I could just come in and pick and choose the contacts that I want. But I'm going to pick all of them. So you'll see once I pick multiple contacts, I get this option right up here that says select bulk action. This is your best friend for adding multiple contacts to a smart plan. I'm going to choose select bulk action, and then I'm going to come down here and I'm going to choose add to smart plan. Now we are going to pick the quarterly call smart plan because this is the one that's really important. So let's say that you guys have 500 contacts in your database, and you say, I want to add all 500 contacts to the quarterly call smart plan. If I pick all 500 and I say, okay, yeah, start all 500 on this smart plan, in 90 days, how many contacts am I going to have to call? Anyone have a guess? 500 is the answer. Yeah, all of them, Tammy. Yep. So if I say add 500 to this, then 90 days from now, you guys are going to get a reminder saying, hey, call these 500 people. And I don't believe that that's what you want to do in one day. So I cannot stress this enough. With the quarterly call smart plan, when we want to add everybody in our database to the quarterly call smart plan, which they should be on, we want to use this last option, which is to stagger the start over the next few days. So I'm going to pick this one, and it tells you right here, staggering allows you to distribute when the SMART plan starts for a large group of people. You can choose to start the SMART plan for X amount of people per business day until all are added to the SMART plan. For example, if you add 11 contacts to a SMART plan and stagger 4 per day, then the SMART plan would activate for 4 contacts today, 4 contacts tomorrow, and 3 on the 3rd day. So it's going to allow you to pick what's the maximum number of contacts that you want to call every day. So think about this. Don't just say like, oh, I'll call 50 contacts a day, because you've got your current business as well. So if you say I could call, 7 people each day, and then it would push the next to the next day. And then 90 days from that, it's going to do the same thing. So again, really with that quarterly call SMART plan, we want to make sure that we're staggering that start over the next few days so that it's just not adding undue stress to you. And then we would just hit confirm, and then you would get those as reminders. Now let's talk about how reminders come up. I do recommend that when we're looking at our dashboard, if you're really using SMART plans, we need to make sure that our tasks are front and center. So when we are looking at our dashboard in Command, which is just the home page when we first log in, we have the ability to customize this home page. So you'll see mine is set up so that my tasks are the first thing that I see when I log in, because that's what I want to see directly. You can do this when I'm in my home page right here, just by clicking on this little button over here on the right that says Customize Home. And then over here on the left are all the different widgets that you can even see in your home page. And over here is the order in which you'd like to see the widgets. So if I don't want my task to be up top, I can just take this, drag it and drop it, and I can move the order. But I do want my tasks to always be there when I first log in. I have this set up as the page that I open when I turn my laptop on in the morning. So I'm just going to choose apply, and then all of my tasks will always be right there. I can hover over them and see the full task for that. I can click on the contact, see anything that I need for that. So I'm just going to unshare my screen just a little bit, just check the chat, take a look. Any questions on anything that we covered in SMART plans just before we move on? So again, the biggest thing is if you guys have created a personal SMART plan, just moving that over into the team account. And that's just a one time that you'll have to move it over, and then anybody on the team is able to use that. Oh, thanks, Kathleen. Thanks for being here. Let me see. I do have a question. I don't know if she's still on here. Okay. Any questions on Teams at all, you guys, or anything that you want to chat about or mastermind about? Anything we're running into?
I would just like to say you were very, very good at this. And you just explained it in such a manner that made it seem so simple. And I really appreciate that.
Thank you, Tammy. I appreciate you saying that. That's very kind of you. Thank you. Yeah, so we will, if you guys have the flyer, and again, check with your market center because they'll have all the dates for all the classes, all the workshops. But we'll basically be doing almost the same thing that we did this month for teams the next month. So we're just kind of doing like a recap just because we know there's a lot of teams out there. If you run a team or you're on a team, take a look at the April classes because I am going to have an admin mastermind for teams. So if you have an admin or a director of ops or anything like that, listen, anybody that does like the admin kind of side or the operations, I'd love to get them here as well. Let me just see, I have a couple questions. Can you set up the SMART plans to automatically be added to the clients, or do we always have to do them? Yeah, so Kathleen, you will have to do them by each client just to confirm, but it's really, what I like is just like as you're adding a client, add that as the next, like immediately we put them onto a SMART plan, but it doesn't do it automatically at this point. What will be coming soon with leads is leads that are coming in, you'll be able to automatically push those to a SMART plan. Excuse me, that's something that they're labbing right now. So hopefully we'll see that soon. Great, thank you. Anybody else, you guys, any questions?
I just want to say that I use SMART plans a lot with assisting agents, but I find using the Smart Plan, it's so easy just to do an email through a Smart Plan rather than do it through regular email. And I train that way because it's just so much easier.
Sue, I think that's such a great point, and I love that because then when I'm looking at the contact card in Command, I can see the last correspondence. I can see what was sent. That's what I use. I send out a weekly email to the team leaders, and then like every other week to the Market Center tech trainers. And I always just do it as a Smart Plan because I just think it's my contacts are there, they're tagged. It's just super easy. So I love that you're doing that too. Yeah, I love that. All right. If there are no more questions, we'll end it there for the day. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'd love to hear. So if you guys have Market Center tech trainers or anybody like a Sue or an Aisha, if you have something team specific that you'd love for us as the region to train on, please let them know. We're absolutely open to teaching and training on anything that you feel would bring value to you. So just pass that up to us. And if I can help you guys with anything, let me know. All right. Make it a fantastic day. Bye, everyone.